Welcome to the final episode of our series, Nobody Tells You This About Money. And for our last one, we are tackling something so many of us run into. It's that frustrating feeling when your side hustle, well, it just doesn't seem to be creating the freedom you thought it would. So, let's dive right in.
Let's start right here, because I bet this feels super familiar. You're putting in all those extra hours, right? You see that extra money hit your bank account, and there's this little sigh of relief. But then, it's like a few weeks later, it's just gone. Poof! And that tight feeling in your chest, it's right back where it started.
So, what gives? Why does this keep happening over and over again? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into in this explainer. And I'll tell you right now, the reason is probably not what you think. It's got very little to do with just earning more.
Okay, first things first. We have to talk about why the side hustle is so alluring. Let's be real. When money's tight and you feel kind of stuck, doing something, anything, feels way better than doing nothing, right?
Yeah, it feels like you're actually moving forward. It's like you're telling yourself, hey, I'm not just sitting around waiting for a miracle. You're being proactive, you're taking control, and honestly, that feeling of just doing something can be a massive relief when you're feeling anxious about your finances.
But, and this is the big but that changes everything, the problem usually isn't that you need more income. Nope, the real issue is that all this extra money you're working your tail off for, it has nowhere solid to land. It's like you're pouring water into a leaky bucket. And that brings us to the great disappearing money mystery. The cash comes in, but that feeling of stress, it never really leaves. So seriously, where is all that money going?
Well, the thing we really need to wrap our heads around is this idea of a leaking financial life. It's exactly what it sounds like. All that extra income you earn just disappears into these little cracks, weak systems, maybe some undisciplined habits, all that existing financial pressure. It gets soaked up before it ever has a chance to, actually build lasting strength.
And this is a huge trap with side hustle money specifically. We tend to see it as bonus money, right? It doesn't feel as serious as our main paycheck. So what happens? We spend it emotionally, kind of on a whim, and before you know it, it's just gone.
So what are these leaks I keep talking about? What do they actually look like day to day? Because, it's usually not one big flashy purchase that does all the damage. It's much quieter than that. Okay, here are the usual suspects. You've got lifestyle creep, where things just slowly get a little more expensive. Then there's the classic, I earned it splurge. We've all been there. But then there are the sneakier ones. High-interest debt that's just constantly draining you, all those subscriptions you signed up for and totally forgot about, and not having an emergency fund so every little surprise becomes a huge crisis. And without automatic systems, while you're relying on willpower for every single spending decision. And let me tell you, willpower runs out fast.
And here's the absolute key takeaway. Adding more money to a broken system, it doesn't fix the system. It just means you leak money at a higher level. You end up feeling just as stressed, but with bigger numbers flying around.
Okay, so we've kind of diagnosed the problem, right? Enough of the doom and gloom. Let's switch gears and talk about the fix. How do we make sure all that extra effort you're putting in actually counts?
I love this because it perfectly breaks down the difference. Think of it this way. Income is like the fuel. It gives you possibilities, it offers that temporary relief, but structure, that's the engine. That's what gives you staying power and creates real lasting strength. You can have all the fuel in the world, but without an engine, you're not going anywhere. You need both.
So the whole strategy here is about being proactive instead of reactive. It's a three-step game plan. First, you decide what every single dollar is going to do before it even hits your account. Second, you direct the flow. You give those dollars specific jobs, like you're going to debt, you're going to savings. And third, you use that money to actually strengthen the whole system, build up your savings, and create some breathing room.
And look, a plan can be this simple. The numbers here aren't magic. You can change them. What is magic is the intentionality behind it. By deciding ahead of time where the money goes, you take all the emotion and that what should I do feeling out of it. And by the way, don't sleep on that 10% for enjoyment. That's not a throwaway. That's what makes the plan something you can actually stick with long term.
This really brings us to a much deeper mindset shift. It's about taking a good, hard, honest look at the connection between all the effort you're putting out and the actual system you have in place to catch it.
And that means asking yourself a really tough question. Is your side hustle a tool that's building something, or is it just a distraction? Because sometimes, and we all do this, chasing more money can be a way to avoid looking at the real problem. It can feel so much easier to just work more hours than it does to face a tough habit, like overspending.
And that
That is the real danger. If your hustle is only ever patching leaks instead of building a solid foundation, you just end up on a hamster wheel. You're working harder and harder, but you never feel any more secure. That is the fast track to complete and total burnout, because all your effort just seems to evaporate.
So if you want to get off that hamster wheel, you have to start asking better questions, more strategic questions. Like, what is this extra money actually for? What specific leak am I trying to plug with this cash? What part of my financial system needs an upgrade? And maybe most importantly, can I keep doing this without burning out?
Because at the end of the day, that's the real goal, isn't it? Financial freedom isn't just about the chase for more income. It's about getting really, really good at handling what you already have, learning how to keep it, how to point it where it needs to go, and how to use it to build something solid and stable.
Yeah, listen to this. A hustle that's just keeping your head above water, that's still just survival. And look, sometimes survival is necessary, but it's not the same as freedom. Freedom starts the moment your effort stops just patching holes and starts actually building something that's going to be there long after your next paycheck comes and goes.
So, as we wrap up not just this explainer, but our whole series, I want to leave you with this one thought. A side hustle becomes truly powerful, a real game changer, not when it makes you busier, but when you pair it with a system that makes your financial life steadier. So my question for you is this. What's just one leak, one tiny little crack you can start to fix this week? Because answering that question, that's where everything starts to change.